All right, we are live. What is up? It's Brie E Anderson. Okay, don't. Sorry. I'm on one today. Welcome back to another segment of You and Me in Analytics. Today, if you haven't heard, we are going to be talking about the new AgoraPulse Power Reports. Poster 124, thank you for joining. And specifically, we're going to be talking about, their new power reporting tool, which is pretty cool. It allows you to look at aggregate data for all your social media platforms and individual data for all of your social profiles, both business and personal, which is important for a lot of us who have personal brands as well as working for clients, or, we have our own business. So that's awesome. But before we get too far into this, I just want to say thank you to our friends over at StreamYard. StreamYard has so graciously allowed us to really expand the audience of our show. So with StreamYard, I'm able to stream to Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube all in one place and have these really cool overlays. Looks like Militia is in the house. Militia, thanks for joining. So let's go ahead without further ado and jump into AgoraPulse. Remember, if you have any questions or anything of the sort, go ahead and drop them in the comments, wherever that is, wherever you're watching. All right, so let's get to getting. That's very little. Let's make it a little bit bigger. John, thanks for joining. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. All right, let's take, whoa, that's very loud. Okie doke. Okay, so I have signed into my AgoraPulse account here. You can see I am currently looking at my notification center. If you've not used AgoraPulse, but you have used a system like Sprout or even like a Hootsuite or something like that, it is a social media scheduler. It's also a social media listener or listening and all sorts of other fun stuff. It looks like our friend Militia is here from a Chick-fil-A in Gainesville, Texas. That's awesome. Thank you, and enjoy your Chick-fil-A. That made me very hungry. All right. So there's all of this fun stuff, and that's all fun and good, but what I want to look at is they just rolled out these power reports. So like most social media monitoring, listening, planning softwares, AgoraPulse does give you kind of just like a basic overview of your social media profiles. So this one is specifically for my Facebook page. And then I can look at just my Instagram here and my Twitter. Now, they don't have access to LinkedIn pages and YouTube analytics. So you're not getting that information right now. Knight Rider, thanks for joining. And you can get this information. This information is really good, but they just rolled out what they are calling power reports. And so to use the power reports, I've already created some here. I'm going to create a report. Now, reporting is a really big deal. I recently tweeted something out that I thought was going to be a little bit controversial. Actually, really wasn't. We get a lot of clients that ask for automated reports, or not automated reports, but like weekly or monthly reports, right? And those can be beneficial. However, I would like to caveat that by saying you must also give insights on that data, which is time consuming. And you also need to tie that data back to a business goal, right? Because if you're just sharing how many impressions you got that week, it's not that beneficial to the client. And sometimes the clients will think that it's beneficial because you've not done your job to educate them. So I think that's something that's really important and something to really keep in mind when we go through this. So let's go ahead here and trying to toggle through everything. So this allows you, AgoraPulse allows you to select which profiles you want to report on. This can be nice for yourself or for clients. I'm going to go ahead and select my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter because I don't really use my business page on LinkedIn as much as I should, honestly. So I'm going to leave that one out. Select next. And then this is where I get to select if I want aggregate data. So if I want them to put all of my data from all of my sources together, or if I want individual data. So I want to see it broken down by Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or if I want both. I like to see both, and I'll show you why here in a second. So here's our aggregated data, and this is all the different things you can select. So how do you want to aggregate your data, by profile or by network? Honestly, I'm not sure what that means yet. So we'll run a couple of these tests and see how the data differs. And then you can see an overview, which is kind of just like a dashboard shot, and then get into more nitty-gritty details about your audience. So the growth of your audience, the impressions, and the engagement of your audience. Content summary, I really like this section. So how much are you publishing and what content performed the best? And then also community management. And this is usually, this is really to be used if you have a team. I'm going to leave it in here so you guys can see what it looks like. And then we get into the individual data for each of our platforms. So here again is our audience insights, and you can see that they have some things that they've kind of come up with themselves. So like a brand awareness score, I'm really liking that. Fans' activity, their demographics. You can put labels in here to label your specific audiences. So you can see the label distribution, engagement, all sorts of stuff. Content, I love the way that they lay out the best time and day to publish, and the best type to publish. You're going to see that here in a second. And then we'll have our community in here, and competitors. We'll see if we have to set that up, because actually I don't know. I've not noticed that. Honestly, I've run a lot of this without looking through how specific you can get. And it's actually really cool to see just how specific you can get with these reports. So a lot of the same things here on Instagram, and then a lot of the same thing here on Twitter. So something that I thought was really interesting right here is ROI. And I'm wondering if that's because you can also add in your Facebook ads accounts. So I'm wondering if that's something that they're actually able to calculate based on your ads. So then let's look at some of the settings. So this is specifically for if you are going to automate. So we're going to use my time zone, and you can also upload. This stuff is actually required. So I'm going to upload my logo here so you guys can see what it looks like when all this is filled out. And this is going to be Beast Analytics. And then I'm also going to put it here. Open, and then this is kind of the white labeling here. So you would just put the name of your company. Just going to put Beast Analytics again. All right, so this is where you can automatically schedule your reports and who you want them to go to. Also, how you want time shown and the weekdays to be started. or which weekday you want to start with every single week. So I'm actually going to turn mine off, but like I said, you can see, so you can automate them to send weekly or monthly. And then I'm just going to press finish, and it's actually pretty quick. So let's see what we get here. Has successfully been created. Uh-oh, I froze it. It's froze. All right, do we have anybody in here? Because Periscope is doing the weird thing again that says we have nobody on here. But StreamYard is showing me that there are 2 people on here. So who's hanging out with us? Drop a comment so I can see. All right. So you can see the 3 profiles came from. Here's our aggregated data. So I really like to see this. So my audience across all platforms is about 1,800 people. This is how many engagements I got across all of my platforms. Sarah is here. Sarah, it's really good to see you. And Militia is also here on YouTube, and for some reason Periscope was timing out. Very sorry about that, Militia, but glad both of you are still hanging out with us. Okay. We also see our impressions across all platforms and published items across all platforms. You can see there is automatically a comparison in here as well. So you can see whether or not you've increased or decreased. So this is a good point. In case you missed it, we are looking at AgoraPulse, and specifically we're looking at their new power reports. So check out AgoraPulse if you've not yet. All right. So then it starts to break down fans based on your different audience, or based on your different profiles. And here we can see engagement as well. So, rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall here. As most of you, if you follow me on multiple platforms, know, the majority of all my engagement and all my, everything is done on Twitter, because that's where I'm the most active. I have tried to post more on Instagram and just Instagram, not Facebook. So if you hover over each section, you can see where those engagements are coming from. And obviously not a lot here on Facebook, but we see more on Instagram and then a ton on Twitter. So that's really cool. Impressions, again, we can hover over. So impressions on Facebook versus Instagram here. Interesting that I can't see Twitter, but that's okay. Publishing, so you see how much we're publishing. And then here's the top content on Facebook. So this was something that was interesting. StreamYard actually just sent something out about this. When I was scheduling my lives and sending them out on Facebook through StreamYard, the pictures weren't showing. But obviously once I started the stream, people were tuning in. So that's why we're able to see like the reach and engaged users, all of that fun stuff. So this was my top content on Facebook, and my top content on Instagram, and then the same on Twitter. You see all the replies, reviewed items, number of times review or delete actions have been performed on items during. I don't really know what that means, actually. Have to look into that. Audience overview. This is specifically on Twitter. And you can toggle through, like if you don't want to just see aggregate data, you can, or if you just want to skip to the next section, you just use these arrows, which again is really cool. Audience overview on Twitter. So this is when I actually started using AgoraPulse, and you can see the increase on Twitter interactions. This even has your direct messages and retweets. So they're broken down. But I really like the way that they lay out user activity. And I can see very clearly that Tuesday at 8 a.m. is when the majority of my audience is active. So, you know, again, when it comes to scheduling, this is really beneficial information. Now I know that this is going to be one of the times that I want to schedule. And then a follow-up would be Friday at 12 p.m., which is right now when we're doing our live show. Here we have the brand awareness score with mentions and this hashtag, which I have no idea what this is from. I think it might be from a search engine journal. Yeah, I have no idea where they're pulling that hashtag from. Yep, no idea. All right. And then I've not had any listening searches. Wayne Cooper, thanks for joining over on Periscope. And then these are the hashtags that I use and the ones that get the most interactions. So I'm going to say that analytics, pretty solid. Again, if I had labels, it would show up here. This is content, how much I've published, top content. By likes, you can change it here. Retweets, what gets retweeted the most, what just gets engaged with the most. And then here are, based on engagement, the best time to publish again. So this is when they're most active up here. And then these are the best times they're saying to post. So 5 p.m. on Wednesdays, Thursdays at 10 a.m., and Friday at 12 p.m. Best types. We've got media, status, and links. And then community management. So replies, reviewed. Oh, that reviewed. Duh, that's me reviewing it in the platform. And then my average response time. So then I get the same thing for Facebook. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's see here. Yeah, so you can see paid versus organic, which is really nice. Again, if you're running those Facebook ads, you can see the different reactions you get, if you get any link clicks versus video or photo clicks. Because again, remember, in Facebook, they just give you, a lot of the times, they just give you the clicks, but the clicks can also be clicks on photos or clicks on videos. My impressions here, they go up on Fridays because that's the only time I really post on Facebook. Here we have our brand awareness score, which is interesting. So it's mentions and shares, it looks like. I don't label anything. I am interested to see how they've come up with this. All right, Militia, thank you so much for joining. Have very safe travels, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Oh, no. My stinking camera. I need a new battery, it looks like. Okay, hold on, guys. Let me change my camera really quick. It's the second time my camera has done that, which is not cool. All right, so we're back in action. So yeah, I'm going to actually have to reach out to the AgoraPulse team and see exactly how it is that they're generating this ROI number here. And then we've got, again, best time to publish, best post to publish. And then we have competitors. This is interesting, the people that were chosen for competitors. Very interesting, actually. I suppose I will have to look into whether or not I can change that. And then we have all of our Instagram here. Guys, this is a ton of data. So this is based on, what hashtag should I be using? Where's my audience at? What's the demographic? What language do they speak? What kind of content works? Guys, this is so much information. Okay, so we can also modify this report after we have created it, and we can export it. I do believe that it gets exported as a PowerPoint. So let us go. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go check my email because it says it's going to come in through email. Let's go in here and check out our reports. Again, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments so I can go over that with you. There are a couple more things that I'm going to be running through and seeing if we can change like that, the competition. I'm going to see if we can change that because I don't really think that Pizza Hut's my competitor at all because I don't sell pizza. Trying to figure out where this is going. Promotions. I can't seem to find it. So where did it go? Where's my report? Where's my report? Okay, well, I just found where I can. Okay, so I'm just going to show you this really quickly while I try and figure out, while I mull over what I need to do to find that. But I toggled. So when I was looking at this report, right, this is the report that we generated. If I go into my specific, oops, I froze it again. If I go into my specific channels, I get an option of audience, content, and so audience, content, community management, and competitors. If I go into competitors, I can manage my competitors. So like these guys, so those are the demo pages. That makes more sense. So I'm going to update that. Add a competitor. So it looks like I only get to pick one. Let's go find someone. I might just put Brian in here for fun. Brian Fanzo. This guy right here. So if I drop this in here and add it, right away it shows me how many fans he has, how many people are talking about him, his page posts, fan posts about him, interactions, and engagements. So that's good. And that's as many competitors as I can add at the subscription level. So now that just makes me wonder, what else can I change in here? Content, global versus performance. What does this mean? So this is global, which is all, I guess. And then performance, which, so now I get to see all of these broken down. So this is all of my content. This isn't, just so you guys know, this is not the power reports. Okay, here's my custom report. Is available for download. and it comes out in a PDF. So like I told you guys, this is white labeled. So you could send this to your client. It shows all the profiles, aggregate data, and then, breaks down all of the things that we went through into a report that you can just send to your client. Again, you can schedule these on a weekly or monthly basis. But remember, if you are going to send this, I do suggest adding a summary to it, in your email when you send it over to them. So my suggestion would be to have it emailed to you, and then you can forward that email over to the client with your insights. Also, be sure that you're not including anything that you don't have data for, and you can do that in the settings by going to the settings and unchecking those boxes, right? So look and see what you don't have data for. Deselect those boxes so that they're not shown in here, and make your client question, what that is and why there's no data for it, right? But it looks like I can also export this information. So this is the content by posts, and so you can choose how you want to export this, and you can also schedule these specific views to be sent out. So I'm going to export this into a PowerPoint, and then I'll get a notification here once that is ready, because I don't think, I never got the email to my email that it was ready, but I'll wait for the little notification here to show up. And so again, you can do this by platform. So these are the averages. Okay, so on average, we're reaching this many people, which is interesting. Oh, that says 48. I thought that said 400. I was like, I don't think any of mine have reached this many people on Facebook. Again, they don't pull in the impressions from Twitter. Very interesting. Very interesting. But it looks like it did pull in all of my content, which is good. Looks like my report is done. So I actually have to make it to where you guys can see this. So let me stop sharing that screen and share this one. So this is what the PowerPoint looks like. And it looks like this actually isn't white labeled, but you can come in and take the AgoraPulse logo out if you want. All this is editable. So you could always make this smaller, type your insights here, or, whatever you wanted to do, just so that the client gets the most information. And remember, you always want to tie it back to those business goals. So if their goal is brand awareness, some of this, so this is going to be a big one. Show them the audience growth. Brand awareness and engagement, user activity, they probably don't care about that. Impressions, big deal. Brand awareness score, massive deal. Get rid of the label, get rid of that and that and that, especially because they don't have any information. ROI, again, that's just so interesting to me. And then here's the content summary, which, you might say this specific one was best for brand awareness. This is really interesting because actually all of this is editable. Don't go fudging your numbers. That's not a good idea. But all of this is right here. It looks like it actually, so when I downloaded the competitive report, or when I downloaded the content report, it actually downloaded the entire Facebook report. So I don't know if there is a way to change that. Settings. Uh-oh. No, I don't think that's custom branding. Oh, so this is, okay, so you can change that branding. General, automated. Okay, so you can actually schedule all of this stuff here. If you wanted to do specific, platform specific, sorry about that, platform specific automated schedules, you can do that here just by going to the settings in your reporting phase here. And anytime you create a report, by the way, it does save it. So I have, a couple called tests, the one called Beast Analytics, which is the one that we created on this. So there's just so much functionality on this. As you can tell, I'm still playing around with it, still figuring it out. But I do think it is really, really beneficial. I'll be interested to see, because when I exported this report, it did go straight to a PDF. Let's see. I'm going to see if we can change that to PowerPoint once this loads. These bigger reports do take a second to load up here because it's grabbing information from so many different places. Okay, yeah, so this just says your export has started. So that really only gives you the option of PDF, or I guess it doesn't give you the option. Next. So this is where you would come in and take out the things that weren't pertinent to you. Yeah, so this is for PDFs. Interesting. Edit report, and this just allows you to edit those settings. So it looks like right now that these reports are only going to be sent in PDF. So if that floats your boat, this is going to be a great option for you. And like I said, I really like to see this aggregate data, and I really like that they've created their own kind of metrics for brand lift and ROI. That's really interesting to me. I'm excited to see kind of what they do in the future with this. So as I said, this is pretty brand new for them. I think it's only been out for 2.5 months, maybe. And fun fact, if you have AgoraPulse, jump on it now. It's like a $20 a month add-on, and that pricing is not going to be around forever. So definitely go and claim it now. With all of that being said, I could spend forever going through this. But I just want to say thank you, AgoraPulse, for hooking me up with the platform so that I could check out some power reports. Thanks, everybody, for watching another segment of You and Me in Analytics on Analytics Friday. If you do so feel inclined, please support the show by going to Buy Me a Coffee and buying a coffee, or, whatever. I do analytics. Garza, thanks for joining. I'm about to hop off here, but if you are interested in analytics setup or any sort of analytics consultation, you can go to my website at beastanalyticsco.com and book that. Until next time, friends, you're a beast.